Hello YouTube, this is Swordsman75 here, bringing you my next commentary of Battlefield Bad Company 2. I want to say welcome to all my new subscribers. I believe I'm up to 46 now. Thank you all for coming over. I know some of you came from Junkyard's blog. I appreciate each and every one of you and hope you enjoy the content. Bringing you guys a game here with Savitar XIII that we have come to call Tankageddon. This was actually early on in the day. He had just gotten the game. He's still brand new to it, except for the beta or demo, and he was still trying to feel out what he wanted to do. So I went engineer. I believe he went assault, and so we hopped into Conquest, and it threw us into this match here. And for those of you that haven't played Conquest, it's a lot of fun. As you'll see on the screen, at any given time there's 3 points. Red ones are in control of the enemy, blue are ours. If they're flashing, it means they're being contested. And it's just a fun little game. Whoever holds the most, the longest, will build up score towards winning. And so we spent, I think, most of the day playing Conquest here, and we were really enjoying it. It was a nice break from Rush. And this was, I believe, one of the first times we ever really hopped into a tank together, him and I. And this is a light tank, not a heavy tank, and we were actually quite surprised with how well we did. We took the tank right off the hop here. No one else had grabbed it, so I hopped in and drove down the road, and he spawned into it, I believe, and we thought we would cruise on down here and try to take control of this flag. We stayed at the outskirts. We weren't sure if our teammates were in there. We weren't sure how many enemies were in there, so we tried to blow out some buildings, tried to knock down some of the cover, to give him more lines of sight with that 50 cal machine gun on top of the tank here. And throughout this match, I mostly pay more attention to trying to maneuver the tank to make sure we don't get flanked by other tanks, try to watch out for C4 or mortar strikes. Someone actually dropped smoke on us before they called in a mortar, so we got out of there as quick as we could, but luckily the mortar didn't hurt us too bad. You basically just pulled up right beside the flag. You don't got to get out of your vehicles to capture it. We just parked it and scanned for enemies as they were coming at us, and watching the stars and stripes slowly raise up the pole. We walked in cautiously at first, started blowing at some buildings, and then we moved in, captured the point, and here we were just looking for our next objective. We kind of scanned back, looking for any remaining enemies to clean them up. We didn't want to just leave and have them capture it right away, so we're taking a look, trying to analyze where the action was. We saw the one flag was flashing there for a few minutes, but then it went solid, so that means we should have it in full control. So we figured we'd try and take out that building before I hopped out to heal him up here. As you can see right here, teamwork is absolutely vital to this game. I let him know before I ever hop out, or that we need to hop out. I will hop out, put the drill against the side of the tank, begin to heal it. He will spin the top gun around to cover where I'm not able to see, or he'll jump into the driver's seat to be prepared to move if he needs to. If he needs to let me die in order to save the tank and to keep it alive longer for us to hold control, he will. But it's just so refreshing to see that teamwork is actually required to do well in this game, and not just required to do well, you're actually rewarded for it. It's just such a nice change of pace from NW2 and some other games that have been out lately. Throughout this game, we noticed that a lot of our teammates were trying to play this like a team deathmatch instead of playing the objective, which was a little disappointing. I believe it was basically us two, and then 2 other guys in our team were the only ones playing the objective. Here we actually get some help from a recon squad or team member that ended up calling a mortar strike down on that tank to help us blow it up, I believe. But for the most part, they were content to try to play team deathmatch. The enemy seemed to be just as content to try to play team deathmatch. I think one of the big things you'll notice is that they barely use their tanks. Their side of the map gets tanks just like ours does, but they very rarely got them out. And it's just a shame. Like, if your team doesn't use all of the tools provided to it, you're just handicapping yourself. Even if you're a bad tank, don't be afraid to get in there, drive up close, and try to support your team from range. If given enough time and left to its own devices, a single guy in a tank can destroy a bomb plant location in Rush It can bring down almost any building it could possibly want to. So just get in there, lob shells onto the targets, and help your team as best you can. Because if you ignore the tanks and you let it sit there, it's like a used car lot. Some cheeky little engineer is going to sneak it around you guys, get up there and hop into it. And before you know it, you're going to have a tank coming at you from behind that you just never saw coming. And it's going to hurt, and you'll regret it. So just make use of all the tools available to you. If you're sitting there as recon, and there's a giant tank, especially heavy tanks, just sitting there unused, go over and take a spin. It can't possibly hurt your team unless you drive it into the thick of things, then you dive out of it. Which is one of the biggest rookie mistakes I've seen from people so far. They will hop into a tank and drive it down and maybe take one RPG shot, and all of a sudden they're bailing and running away like a little girl. Now, an RPG can be powerful, but one RPG shot to the front or the sides will generally only do about 40% damage to it. Not enough to kill it. You could probably still be able to get out of there and try to get back to an engineer. But even if you can't, stay in that tank until it goes down in flames. If you jump out, run away, you know what's going to happen? They're not going to keep killing it most times. Some engineers are going to run over, patch it up, and all of a sudden you just gift wrap a tank right under their team. Now, on maps where defenders or attackers or whichever side isn't supposed to have tanks, if none spawn there, you just gave them a very powerful weapon that they wouldn't have had otherwise. So, if you do jump in a tank, ride it till it dies. It's the best thing I can say. Otherwise, you risk really hurting your team. Here, we came up too far. We wanted to try to press that flag. We countered some heavy resistance, so we backed off. I accidentally shot the tank. And we started to patch it up. Now, if they would have been more aggressive, they could have came over that hill. There was one guy there you saw trying to take it out, but a couple of guys could have finished us off, no problem. I think a couple noob tubes or a grenade or two tossed down there after that RPG would have finished off the tank. This isn't a heavy tank. It's very susceptible to damage. I don't think we ever saw one stick of C4 attempt to be used against us. But, yeah. You get into the thick of things. If you need to back off, back off. Savitar was up on the 50 cal gun covering us while I patched this up, and then we can move in and try to go for the flag. You park your big behemoth tank near the flag, and you'll start to hear it ticking, and before too long you should be able to capture it and secure some points for your team. Now, I didn't personally get too many kills in this game. I think I got 8 or 9 kills with the tank, and only with the tank. But primarily, I was more paying attention to maneuvering and positioning of the tank to try to dodge other tanks and avoid mortar strike. Here they actually did a really smart move. They got one of their own tanks finally and moved it on down to our road that we just came up. And the backside of a tank is the weakest side, and we end up getting drilled here a little bit later when they actually flank us, and well done for whoever did that. It was a good move, smart move. We ended up backing off here thinking to go try to protect the other one, but then we see the one we just captured is being taken, so we come right back up here and try to defend it as best we could, and we knock out a couple of guys here, I think. But even though I was focused on maneuvering and positioning, Savitar went absolutely crazy with the 50 cal machine gun. He has this exact game up on his own channel, but from his perspective, where I believe he mows down 16 or 18 people with the top gun there. There you saw the tank come right up our backside and just reamed us pretty good. But again, we spawned again, we got another tank, we came on down, we defended this flag. And that's just round and round how we went. 2 guys working together with communication can sometimes be enough to win. As you'll see, our Savitar and I's score is basically doubled what most of the other people's scores, because we're sticking together, playing as a team, and going after the objectives. Now that I have a couple minutes here, I wanted to again thank all of you guys who have recently signed on as subscribers and come to support my channel. I really appreciate it. I'm thankful for each and every one of you. and I'd like to ask you guys to reply in the comments and let me know what you guys want to see. Is there anything you guys want to see in particular? Anything special you'd like to see me attempt or see me do a video on? Got a couple of projects coming up. I want to put out a video here soon about how to stop the very things that Savitar and I are doing to this team very easily. If one guy worked together, they could have destroyed us every single time. But that'll be for next time. I got some more medic stuff coming up for you guys. So feel free to let me know what you guys want to see. I hope you guys enjoyed. I will talk to you guys soon. Have fun, guys.